Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. We did find out that there is an item that I think we both want it, but you, obviously, being your favorite movie of all time, probably want it more than me, which is, of course, you have the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future, and they have a new popcorn bucket that I am going to imagine is going to be difficult to get.
So yeah, it's sold through AMC, right?
I believe it's through AMC only.
It looks really cool. It even lights up, has gull wing doors where it holds the popcorn. I really, really want it. However, the closest AMC to our house is like 40 minutes at least away. And because we're all like Cinemark over here.
Yeah, we're very Cinemark heavy.
Yeah. But you would want it too?
I mean, it would be cool.
Really
the only
cool.
thing I'd say is you do have right behind you a Back to the Future Lego that you built that is more impressive than the popcorn bucket.
Yeah, it's like right there. You can see where my thumb is if you're watching the video. There it is. See
Kind of. You can see the
it's back
quarter.
there.
You can see the quarter panel of it.
So yeah, like I have Back to the Future stuff already, and like it's a popcorn bucket, which we don't really collect those. So I don't know.
I have two, Bumblebee, and I have what's his name? The Dinobot. I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, well, I don't collect popcorn buckets. But anyway, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, the 40th anniversary being this week is, I mean, technically it started on the 21st, I guess. But like also today, the 26th, which is a Sunday, it is also part of that too. And I don't know. It basically spans from like October 21st through November 5th is like when the movie takes place.
Yeah, and I imagine it will probably do pretty well. And we were talking about this. I think it's kind of interesting that there is more hype many times for these re-release of older movies than you'll find for new movies that are out.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
But I mean, theaters, they really did find a little bit of a gold mine with some of these popcorn buckets because they are cool. Like there was a Batman one that had the Batman spotlight. And I was like, that looks awesome.
And they're doing it up nice. They're going to the different places where they shot, like location-wise for the movie, like the Twin Pines Mall that's in Pasadena. They all, I don't know if it was just like an informal meetup or whatever, but they had a bunch of people dressed as Marty McFly
Yeah.
at the mall at 1:30 in the morning or 1:17 or whenever it was in the morning.
That's a little too late.
Because that's when it took place. I'm serious.
I know, but that's a little too late.
Listen,
here.
I'm a fan, but I draw the line at 1:30 in the morning.
Especially people that know that movie, they're in their 40s now, and you're just
Right.
like, that's a little late for me. How about we just do this at like 10 o'clock? Okay, we get to bed by 11:30. Like, okay, it's a nice evening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just a bunch of elder millennials and Gen Xers out there just having a ball.
Lots of coffee at that meetup, I would say.
Lots of coffee, for sure. But yeah, so that's exciting.
It is. I'm curious as to what other popcorn buckets will be. I'm sure Avatar will have something that'll be weird which would be interesting. I could see Avatar making like $3 billion at the box office and nobody buying the popcorn bucket because those movies have no impact, but they make a ton of money. That is the strangest movie franchise to me. Is it just makes buckets of money, and if you walked up to anybody, to be like, "Who's the main characters?" I don't know if half the people you talk to could even tell you.
I have no idea.
I remember we saw it when we were dating the first one, and I remember coming out of it was like, it was okay, but I don't understand why it's making all this money. Like it was just, yeah. And then the second one did the same thing, and I was like, I don't even know. So
I'm guessing because of the visuals is part of it.
I think it's because James Cameron made a deal with the devil.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
I don't know. He's going to make those movies until he's 115 years old. And
yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing, I guess.
But well, we're not going to just talk about popcorn buckets today. We have actually a lot of news to go over. There is some more details about the Universal Kids Resort that we're going to talk about that's being built out in Frisco, Texas. There is a new Express Pass option that we're going to talk about. We have the 2024 attendance numbers to give us an idea of how that went in 2024.
And more.
A lot of stuff here. So we're going to go through all this today on this episode. But before we do that, just want to remind everybody, if you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you didn't know we had video versions of the show, you can find it over at YouTube at CTM Podcast. And of course, if you're listening in good old trusty audio podcast form, we are on all of the major platforms there that at least I am aware of, so you can subscribe on there. And if you're able to leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate that. It helps us continue to grow this show and bring you all sorts of stuff like we're going to talk about today. So, all right, the first story we have today is the Universal Kids Resort has shared full details for the themed land. So previously they'd released concept art where you could take some pretty good guesses as to what was coming, and then they finalized that and actually made it official. And this park is going to open sometime in 2026. They haven't said an exact date, but I'm guessing probably by Memorial Day, given the recent pictures I've seen of construction and when they like to open parks. So that's when Epic opened, so that could give us an idea there. But let's go over the lands that were announced.
So we kind of knew the theme, like what the theme of each land was going to be, but we just didn't know the title and what was going to be exactly in it. So we know it. Shrek's Swamp is the one about Shrek. We get to meet Shrek and Fiona. There's an onion carriage photo op. There are 2 play areas: Shrek's Swamp, Romp and Stomp. Say that 5 times.
Some of the words in this land are very hard to say, I will say.
And Shrek's Swamp Splash and Smash. So that's what we know based on the concept art or what was announced by Universal. Then there's Puss in Boots Del Mar, and that's Meet Puss in Boots, Mama Luna, Perrito, and more. There's carnival games, and then they have that one ride where it's like you're in a swing, and it's like a carousel. Like you just go around and around and like in a swing.
You very kind of an old school type of ride.
Yeah. They definitely have that. There's Minions versus Minions Bello Bay Club.
Bello.
So this is the water-based land. They have a water raft ride. They have interactive play areas and a Minions meet and greet, of course. But it's basically like yellow Minions versus purple Minions, I guess.
Crazier Minions than usual. Yeah.
Yes. Jurassic World Adventure Camp. And you can meet dinosaurs and baby dinos as well. A climbing play area. There's a little roller coaster. There's like a little drop ride. And this is very tame drop ride. And
they also have the, was it Mr. DNA? Like a twirling ride, kind of like it takes you up high and twirls you around a little bit in there.
Perfect. And then you got Trolls Fest, where you can meet Poppy, Branch, and more trolls.
And there is a coaster in there as well.
And a coaster. And Trolls Land also has a Poppy's Playland and Trolls Critter Crawl. These names. Of course, the meet and greets. And then a balloon ride called Zimpa Balloon Boogie. Then we've got SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom Land. You can get Mrs. Puff's Boating School and a Jellyfish Jam alongside character meet and greets with SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy. And then the front of the park is called Isle of Curiosity. And this kind of functions a little bit like what Celestial Park does, where it's near the entrance of the park. You've got like Gabby's Dollhouse will appear there. It's supposed to be like a whimsical gateway with space for kids to explore is basically what this space is. And it's also the entrance from Universal Kids Hotel.
That's actually that's how you actually get in the park, is you walk through sort of an art, or I guess a walkway through the hotel sort of thing.
Yeah.
There. Now there was in the SpongeBob area there in the original concept art they showed like crab. Is it Krabby? What's the burger place? Krusty Krab. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. That I believe they had some IP issues that they could not use that because SpongeBob is weird. SpongeBob has there's theme parks that are like up north. Its rights are kind of all over the place. So I'm assuming they just couldn't use it there for whatever that reason was. So it's mostly like a splash pad type, like water play area for the most part, I believe in there. Yeah. So, I mean, basically this park, obviously these are ages, littles to up to, they say about 10 years old is the age range for this park. And it's interesting because some people you've seen criticize saying like there's no dark rides here, there's no big. Why would they just go so cheap on this or something like that? You got to think about this park. It's in Frisco, Texas, so this is a suburb of Dallas. But the local government there actually has a lot of restrictions on what they were able to do. So they don't want this park to be like a worldwide destination. So the hours here are like 10 to 6 through the week, 10 to 7 on the weekends. No fireworks. No rides that are over 50 feet tall, and they also said no dark rides. So they actually were not allowed to do it due to those restrictions because there's also neighborhoods around this park. So I think they're trying to balance this out of, basically wanting this here, but not basically become like a huge tourism mecca, I guess you could just say. So it's in the concept of these parks are regional theme parks. They even said it in the press release that they had out there. So you're going to see more of these pop up, and it's basically for people in that area or within like 4 to 5 hours of driving distance, around like regional areas, what these parks are intended for. And they've even said previously the idea behind these parks is to essentially be feeder parks for the bigger theme parks. So Mark Woodbury had said that the idea behind these is to introduce kids to the Universal theme parks when they're little, and then when they get older, they're already familiar with Universal, and then they maybe say, hey, let's go to, Epic Universe, or let's go to Universal Hollywood, or whatever that is. So it's an interesting idea. It's kind of like a digital marketing idea, or like just a typical marketing idea in either case, where it's you introduce people into your brand, and then you have them, move up into bigger upcharges or upsells, I guess you could just put it that way from a marketing standpoint, is kind of the whole purpose behind these.
Well, just looking at the concept art that they shared a little bit, it definitely gives the vibe. I mean, it's a lot bigger, I think, but it gives the vibe, and I think we said this last week, of Peppa Pig World.
Similar concept.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see like the rides in here are also very simple. And honestly, our kids are about the age right now for this park. This park sounds fantastic for kids. Like our son is this age. Our daughter's she's aged out, I think. She'd still have fun here, but yeah, she'll still, I mean, she's kind of gotten into bigger coasters and things, but it's one of these things where when you have little kids, I don't know how many times we've gone to Epcot or other parks where it's like they have the most fun in like splash pads or the play areas and things like that. So kids don't require these like super complex immersive lands. Like they just want to run and have fun. There's also some sensory areas as well for kids with sensory issues.
I love that
they have all over the park. And it's basically just supposed to be a place where families can go with their kids and just have a good day. And that's the whole purpose behind these. And I think from that standpoint, it looks like a really fun park.
It does. It looks like a really fun park. It really does. And like I said, it's not that big.
It's 34 acres.
That's pretty small.
It's pretty small. This is also why I think you could see this park concept go into Orlando.
So do you have any idea how much it is costing to build?
About $500 million.
Okay.
Which is not...
That seems like a lot, but...
Well, it's a lot for you and I. If you look at you look at Epic Universe, it costs like $6 to $8 billion.
Oh, I thought it only cost $1.
No, it's like $6 to $8 billion for Epic.
Oh.
So $500 million for a park of this size is relatively cheap.
Right. Okay. Compared to that, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, for some reason I thought it like Epic was like $1 or $2 billion.
There was some of that reported earlier, but once you kind of break down how much, like for instance, I think Galaxy's Edge for Disney, like each of those lands, I think costs at least $1 billion to build.
Okay.
So if you just take into effect like $2 billion per land, it's kind of what you get when you're looking at Epic, especially with the immersiveness of those rides and things like that.
That's so much money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. But this is why, and they've said they're going to do more of these parks.
Yeah.
So they have plans to do these kind of all over the country. I've been saying this for a while. I think you put one of these at Universal Orlando, you have the space around Epic. They're currently clearing an area near Epic that they haven't said what it's for, but they're doing like grading the dirt and things like that. It's about 54 acres. It could be a hotel, or it could be, you could put a theme park this size in there, because this whole campus here is about 50 acres with the parking and everything.
Okay.
But you already have a lot of that with Epic. So you technically could just put in a theme park here in around the Epic Universe campus. And then that would give you 4 parks, and you'd be going after a demographic that typically Universal has not gone after, which is small kids and like young families in that way. So
yeah,
I think you could see this come to Orlando. But either way, I think this is an interesting concept. I'm very curious. They did not say what the price of this was going to be, but given it's a regional park and it's, the audience it's meant for here, I think I kind of think the pricing is going to be somewhere around like $70.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't know which way, like south or north, when you're talking about adults and kids. I don't know how they're going to, do that. But that's kind of where I put it, because this is not a huge park. It's not meant to be like a multi-day experience necessarily. I mean, you obviously have a hotel here as well that's very kid-oriented also.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, that's, I think a lot of people that are criticizing this park you've seen online probably don't have kids. But this park is meant for kids. Like, it's meant for kids and small adults that have a different type of theme park experience. And you don't really need immersive, in-depth, crazy rides here.
Right. I think, I'm not sure about our daughter. She might like it.
She would still have fun here.
But our son would love it.
Oh, for sure.
He would love this. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get to try this. Hopefully sometime next year.
Yeah, they said, like I said, it's opening in 2026. I would guess about around Memorial Day.
Okay.
Because you got to think too, it's a lot of water stuff in here, and I'm wondering if it's going to be seasonal because Texas does get cold in the winter.
Yeah.
And maybe they just don't have the water stuff running in the off-peak times. But I do imagine this park may not be open in the colder months, perhaps.
Could be.
But they haven't given any details on that.
Okay.
So we will see on that. But that is what we know so far when it comes to the Universal Kids Resort. Moving over to the adult Universal parks. Universal is now testing a single ride express pass option for select attractions.
So last week there were signs outside of Revenge of the Mummy and Skull Island Reign of Kong, and it said you can purchase a skip the line pass one time for that attraction, and you just scan the QR code to purchase basically on the app. The cost was $29.99 or $26.62 with tax. So basically this is a single pass like Disney does, but it's just for this one ride on this one attraction. Now back in May, Universal Hollywood offered the Select Express Pass over there, and that was good for 3 of their popular attractions for $35. So they're definitely testing these different options out to see what's going to work better. But there are, I want to look at the regular and unlimited Express Pass options to see like how they compare.
Well, I think the first thing that's going to stick out to this is, first off, it's a test. And they even said it's a test. The 2 attractions that they're doing this on are not rides in which you would really need it necessarily or be high in demand, which is Revenge of the Mummy and Skull Island Reign of Kong. And I'd be very curious. I mean, I'm sure some people have purchased it, but I don't think most people are looking to spend, let's say you have a family, like 2 people want to ride. Are you willing to spend $50 to ride Revenge of the Mummy a little quicker? Like, I don't know. So go ahead.
I was going to say, well, if you look at one time, like one park, one time, so not like a limited pass for Express, the prices start at $119 per person.
Right.
So you could do all of the rides for less than that per ride. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be less than $25 if you look at it that way. Unlimited is more, obviously, and that's only for Universal and Islands, those 2 parks, and that starts at $150 per day per park, or like for the one park. And obviously it goes up from there. So just looking price wise, like to compare, $25 to ride Reign of Kong is a no from me, dog.
Right. And I think that's how most people stand. I think what they're doing is exploring, because obviously when you have Express Pass, and I do think Express Pass works the best out of the skip the line options out of most theme parks because there's not as many of them out there, but it's higher priced. Yeah. So unless you're paying a higher price or you stay in one of the hotels where it's included, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But they're looking for that demand of there are people that may not want to spend $100 and some odd for the Express Pass, but they would be willing to spend maybe $25 to ride, say, Hagrid's or Velocicoaster and rides like that.
But would they price it at $25
well,
for
and
Hagrid's?
that's the thing about this, that is a little interesting and also terrifying in many ways because, and I say terrifying in that if they're pricing Reign of Kong and Revenge of the Mummy at $25 for one ride, obviously you would assume that Hagrid's would be much higher given that is a much more in-demand ride. Now, I've talked before about Disney with the multi-pass and single pass options there. Disney currently, when it comes to Rise of the Resistance, is the most expensive one they have, and that one's at $25. And obviously, I think you would argue Rise of the Resistance is much higher demand versus, say, Reign of Kong, a ride like that. So I think, are they going to go first off, it's a test. So I think they're pricing it where they're pricing it here on these 2 rides. To maybe it's a way to test the system, how it affects those lines. If you think about it, like it's the same when you roll out, say, mobile ordering. at any of the parks that do this, they don't roll it out at all the restaurants all at once. It's like one restaurant at a time because you're going to have issues pop up, and you can single it down to a single restaurant and solve those issues. So if you're testing out, okay, how does a single pass option impact express lines? It makes a lot of sense to test that on Revenge of the Mummy or Reign of Kong, because then you have a smaller pool of people already, and then you can see how that does impact those wait times. Because you also have to balance this out with, yes, there's probably going to be demand for people that were saying, hey, I don't want to spend $200 or whatever it is for Express Pass because I want to ride Hagrid's, but I would spend $50 or $25 to go ride Hagrid's one time quicker.
Yeah.
So, but you also want to know how's that going to impact the Express Pass line, the people that paid all that money. So it makes sense to do it on a more mid-tier type of attraction. The only thing that worries me is if now, unless they keep this as a flat rate on whichever rides they offer this at, it's just $25 flat. Okay, like that's in line kind of with what Disney is sort of set up here. But if Universal goes, let's say $50 for Hagrid's, I think very quickly you would see Disney probably be like, oh, we can go a lot higher on ours too.
Yeah.
And then usually Disney's the one that kind of sets the higher prices and everybody else follows. You could see Universal kind of doing that, and I could see Disney coming, behind that and pricing theirs a bit higher because they'd be like, oh, there is ceiling in here to raise this higher.
Right.
But their multi-pass is also lower too.
Right.
So they're a little bit different system. But that is the big question with this because, I mean, obviously, I think Hagrid's, Velocicoaster probably.
Mm-hmm. Green Gods maybe.
You can see Green Gods. You could see maybe for Forbidden Journey more. I don't think that's really up there. Obviously, you have rides in Epic Universe. Mm-hmm. That could possibly be on a list for this, but that park already has wait time issues, so I would assume you would not do it there. But again, they do have Express Pass there.
Well, and I don't think they'll do anything with the Express Pass until much later, until everything calms down with the newness of it, because right now it's just one time only per ride. There's no unlimited option for Epic.
Right, but you could see them introduce a single pass.
I mean, okay, so
because they'd make a bunch of money on Battle of the Ministry.
Okay, so that was my question. So if they were doing Battle of Ministry single Express Pass, how much as a person that, let's say that you worked at Epic, let's say, how would you price that?
Well, that's the question. I mean, you're talking Epic's Express Passes are north $200 most days. So I think you could I think there would be demand for people saying, would you pay $50 to ride Battle of the Ministry? I think you do have a lot of people that would. Yeah. And I think if there's a similar amount of people that would probably for Hagrid's.
Yeah.
So I think Universal could go a bit steeper here on the single pass ones, given where they have priced Express Pass and they don't have that middle tier option. Disney has the Premier Pass, which they kind of ripped off of Universal there. And then they also have the multi pass. So like Disney kind of is capped on how high they can take the single pass ones. But Universal really has never explored this sort of middle ground. It's either you don't have any Express Pass or you splurge and get it. So I think they are trying to, first off, they're trying to find a new revenue stream.
For sure.
So I think from the feedback I have seen, I think there's legitimately a good amount of people that if you said $50 for Hagrid's or $50 for Battle of the Ministry or $50 for Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, I think there's people that would pay that.
You know what? I mean, I'm guessing that they'll eventually test something like this. So
for sure,
I'm sure we'll find out.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and it also could be a test, and they don't roll this out till later. They did test it during a very busy time, so that is one thing. That was one of the days they tested this. Whenever there was a line, like all the way out into CityWalk to get into studios.
Jeez.
And so it was during what was the recent holiday? Maybe in Columbus.
Labor Day?
Maybe in Columbus Day.
Oh, yeah. That's like mid-October.
Yeah, I think it was around Columbus Day. So sometimes they do stuff like this, really, really busy times. They kind of do, like they've used facial recognition before when using like Express Pass lines and things like that. So could be something they're just playing with, but I'm not going to be surprised within the next little bit or a year or two, something like that, where you do see some sort of single pass option come available. And then I think it would just be how many do they sell? Because obviously that's going to give you more Express Passes out there, but they also would have I'm supposing here this is not based on a reservation, because I don't think they're wanting to do like Disney where you have to be on your phone and have more stuff that requires that. They kind of lean more toward the simplicity of things. So then that would give you more express passes out there, so you don't want to have too many of these middle tier ones either that would impede the express pass lines and the standby lines. So it's all a balancing act, I'm assuming here.
Sure.
But I think they probably will do it.
Yeah, I think so.
So we will see on that one, but I'm hoping that doesn't cause a yet another battle war between pricing things even higher, but it could. we will see on that. But all right, the next news we have is that the 2024 theme park attendance numbers got released. This is from the Themed Entertainment Association. You'll oftentimes hear this referred to as the T report. And I'm not really sure how they get these numbers, but they are considered the gold standard of theme park attendance numbers, because like Universal and Disney and most theme parks don't actually give their attendance numbers. So I'm not really sure how they get them, but we can, they are consistent, I guess, in terms of how they track this. So they've been doing this for a long period of time, so we can get an idea of what the park attendance was like in 2024. And at least to me, nothing here was too surprising, but I'm curious what you thought about this when we go through the numbers.
Okay, so for the United States, for the U.S., the top theme parks from 1 to 9 are all Universal and Disney theme parks. First is it's predictably Magic Kingdom.
But not by that much.
Disney, yeah, Magic Kingdom was 17.8 million. Disneyland was 17.3.
That one was the most surprising thing on this list.
So they were very close, very close. Epcot was next at 12.1. Then Hollywood Studios at 10.3, and then California Adventure at 10.05. And then number 6 was Universal Studios Florida with 9.5. And number 7 was Islands of Adventure for 9.45 million. And the change of that, they did go down. Their attendance numbers went down a bit.
Universal's did. So, yeah.
Yes.
Magic Kingdom was up 0.7%. Epcot was up 1.3%. That was the biggest percentage. But basically, Disney's was flat for the most part.
I mean, 0.6, 0.5, those are pretty.
Yeah, everything was like 0.3, 0.5. In around there. So Universal Studios was down 2.6%, and Islands of Adventure was down 5.5%.
Okay.
Compared to 2023.
Islands was? Dang.
Well, I think this shows you the power of Halloween Horror Nights. Also, the Mega Movie Parade and things like that. They had a lot of that stuff going on the studio side.
That's true.
And they didn't really have anything like that going on at Islands of Adventure.
That is true. Why don't they do more on islands?
Well, I think you're getting ready to see them do more with Lost Continent. Obviously, they're doing some demolition starting pretty soon there.
That's true. That's true.
But I think this is... So I had said previously, I was fully expecting there to be lower attendance in 2024, given that you have Epic opening within a year. So it makes total sense if you're a family looking to go and you're going to spend all the money it's going to cost to go on a vacation, that you would just wait until the new park is open to go.
Absolutely. That's what we thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Now 5% is a decent drop there, but I do think if you look at 2025 numbers, I think Universal is going to have a much better year. I'm also not going to be surprised if Disneyland becomes the number 1 park.
It's well on its way. Well on its way.
Because there were some reports about Disney's attendance this summer being lower at Disney World. And if that is the case and Disneyland stays strong, you could definitely see. And that would be the first time that I can remember since they've reported this that Magic Kingdom would not be number 1.
So, yeah, it looks like Disneyland went up 0.5 and Magic Kingdom went up 0.7%. So, unless something happens, I think that either they'll stay about the same or, if there's hopefully there's not too many hurricanes come up all of a sudden and they might shoot on past a Magic Kingdom. Who knows?
You're trying to jinx hurricanes now?
I'm not trying to jinx hurricanes.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
Well, what's also interesting is the Universal Japan was the number 1 international park.
Oh, that's cool.
So Universal Japan, I think a lot of that is due to leaning more into anime and obviously Nintendo.
Yeah.
Also, Universal Hollywood saw a drop of 10%, but I think that is mostly due to Super Nintendo World opened a couple of years ago, and so that newness factor is kind of waning off. And I could also see a scenario as well, if you were going to go to Universal Studios Hollywood for Super Nintendo World, that you would have switched your trip to Epic Universe, because now they have Super Nintendo World and a brand new park, and that is a bigger Super Nintendo World. So I think that, and they are adding new things. They've got the new Fast and Furious coaster coming to Hollywood. They've got a lot. They actually have a lot of stuff coming to Hollywood in the next like 5 to 10 years. But currently, that one kind of had a decent drop off there. But yeah, at least to me, like in terms of Universal, I was not surprised to see lower attendance. Now, I think when you're looking at 2025, keep in mind, Epic didn't open until May.
Right.
Epic, you're not going to see on this top 10 list.
Right.
Because not only did it not open till May, this park is capped in attendance-wise, under 20,000 guests per day as it stands now. So if you take the calculations on that, I think it'd be a pretty good year if everything stands out as now for Epic Universe of maybe seeing north of 3 million guests for that park. So obviously, you know, Magic Kingdom's at like 17 million.
Right.
They're not going to break into that. But I think 2025 will tell you, even though Epic won't be on there, I think you're going to see an uptick in the other Universal parks because the way they did the pricing or the ticket packages there, where you had to have one day at Epic and the other park packages. So I think you'll see an uptick in the other Universal Studios parks. I think potentially, given what we've seen some of the reports, we'll probably find out a little bit about this at Disney's earnings call, that Disney may have had a little lower attendance year, or at least second part of the year once Epic opened, because I think it did have some sort of an impact on them.
Yeah.
So that could kind of start telling you the trend, because I think in 2026 and 2027, that's whenever you really start seeing the effect of Epic Universe. Mm-hmm. If they're able to get these wait time issues ironed out. I don't think you really see Epic pop on this list, though, until maybe 2027, like a top 10.
Could be. I mean, new park. Could happen.
So if you just take the numbers of Epic, and let's just use, currently it is, last time I checked, it's under 20,000 guests that they basically allow in that park. If you had a full year of operation with that same similar type of cap, you might see Epic near 6 to 7 million.
Okay.
Which would get you close to where Studios and Islands are, but I don't think that would still, it's not having the full effect there. But once they get this park completely ironed out, obviously I think Epic will end up being, you know, up there with Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, like those eventually. Like you give that 5-7 years, whatever that time period is, I think it is going to be their flagship park. But in the meantime, I think you're not going to see like Universal all of a sudden just have this vertical line in attendance.
Yeah.
But I think you'll start seeing this, you know, kind of like a stock that kind of just tends to go up. Is I think that's where you're going to start seeing Universal's attendance off of Epic Universe, and also off of the fact that they're building a new coaster, replacing Rip Ride Rocket, something going to Lost Continent. They've teased other things coming to the Universal Studios and Epic Universe itself. So I think in the future, they're going to do much better, but I'm not surprised at all in the short term here that you've seen a drop off with Universal here before Epic opened.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting the way it's you know, looking at the way they're ranked from 1 to 10. 10 being, by the way, is Knott's Berry Farm that did make the top 10. That's back in California. But it's crazy because obviously the older resorts that were open, the oldest, are like at the top of the list.
Right.
Except for California Adventure. California Adventure was number 5, and it opened in 2005.
Yeah, I know. And Orange Grove 55 was telling me he was surprised DCA
2000?
was even that high.
Yeah.
Because he's not a big fan of DCA. He's like, I'm always surprised it's that high. But he kind of has it, equates it to Islands of Adventure, but he thinks Islands of Adventure is a more complete theme park than DCA is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and I think honestly, the same thing that I said would happen to Universal, you'd see a drop off, especially the 2 years before something big opens. In the short term, you are going to see some attendance problems because of people just putting off trips and waiting for the new thing, which is why you saw Universal do Minion, Villain Con, you saw DreamWorks Land. Like these were lower budget things they threw in there to kind of try and bolster up attendance. But I think most of that attendance was probably annual pass holders that were going to Universal. But I think the same thing that happened to Universal is very likely to happen to Disney while they're building all the things that they're building. And the thing that is different about Disney and Universal building something is Epic Universe didn't impact the day-to-day guest experience because that was being built off-site. Disney's construction is going to be in all like 3 out of the 4 theme parks. It's going to be a major hindrance to your day-to-day guest, on top of the fact that obviously it's expensive to go to either Universal or Disney, and a lot of people may just say, hey, let's just wait and go once X, Y, and Z, or maybe all of it's done. So I think it's unsurprising that Universal had this, and I also think it's very unsurprising to predict that that Disney is going to have the same problem.
Yeah.
Which is why I think you see them doing these short-term turnarounds with that animation experience, with some of these refurbs they're doing, these land changeovers, the soaring over America type thing. I think they're going to try and do a lot of things to try and bolster up that attendance, kind of like what Universal did with some cheap things they can throw in there. Yeah. But I think ultimately that is what you're looking at here. So I think Universal is set up kind of like what's been predicted by Moffett-Nathanson, is that they're probably going to continue eating a market share the next 5 years.
We'll see. Yeah.
That's my guess. And if I'm wrong,
you're wrong.
I'll never admit. I'm kidding. I will fully admit.
I'll never admit. No, you will.
But yeah. So
okay.
Nothing too surprising there to me. But yeah, I'm almost tempted to predict that Disneyland will be number 1 next year.
Okay. So 2025, it'll be more than Magic
I'm very tempted. I was shocked they were just percentage point. They were both at 17 million. It was just percentage points away from each other of Disneyland being right there. From overpassing them.
Yeah. So 2023, Magic Kingdom was 17.72 and Disneyland was 17.25. And then they closed the gap a little bit in 2024. So, yeah, it definitely can happen.
So we'll see how 2025 goes this time next year. So, hey, pins and needles if you're waiting on that one. By the way, this report came out later than I think it did previously. I remember it coming out like August and September in years before. It wasn't until late October that we got this one. So,
okay.
All right, next news story we have is that the dates for the 2026 Universal Mardi Gras International Flavors of Carnival have been announced.
February 7th through April 4th. So that's about what it was last year, but it's starting a week later.
Yeah, I think they kind of shortened it last year too.
They just keep shortening.
Well, it's kind of the same issue that Food and Wine had at Epcot, is when they made it go on like really early into the summer. When you have these festivals that seemingly go on forever, there's feels like a rush to go.
Yeah, I think it was 2022, 2023 maybe. It was from beginning of February till the beginning of May. And it was like, whoa, that's a long time. And then they basically shortened it a month by now. So it's just 2 months. But, it's the same stuff you're going to have every year. You got the awesome Mardi Gras parade. You've got the food booths that they do for all the different flavors of Carnival. You got the merchandise. What else? The concert series. They do the concert series and stuff like that. So it's a very good time. One of my favorite parades I've ever seen and been in.
I love the parade.
Yeah.
The parade's great. The food here's the thing about the food. It's getting better in quality, but the quantities are getting smaller.
They sure are.
And the prices are kind of getting up. So sometimes I've talked about, like, Disney gets a lot of flack for their pricing of the food. And I've even said, listen, I'm not here to play defense for Disney, but a lot of times their food stuff is not as bad as other places like SeaWorld and places.
Oh, absolutely.
But Universal sometimes can get a little up there on the food prices.
Right.
And the festivals, while the quality has gotten much, much better. Like when we first started going to Mardi Gras, some of the food was downright bad. And I haven't had that the last few years, but I've noticed the quantities being a bit lower. But they do have that lanyard you can get that does save you money, where you pay up front, so you actually can save some money that way.
Yep.
So, like I said, I love Mardi Gras, and I hope the food continues to get better. I'm very curious. I've even said many times, I don't expect it this next year, but I think in coming years, Epic Universe Celestial Park is a perfect place for a food festival.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I don't know if they would do Mardi Gras Extended. We have seen them do Mardi Gras Extended. Remember they did a little bit of those booths in Islands of Adventure and CityWalk?
Yeah, but those never really worked that well.
They didn't. But I do wonder if you extend Mardi Gras into Epic Universe and you actually have more of a Mardi Gras. Like they didn't accompany those booths with any Mardi Gras flair in Islands of Adventure when they did that. You could do a Mardi Gras type thing or a celestial spin on it perhaps. Or maybe they just do a different festival. But I do think Universal will do more of these food festivals because, this one takes place in a really good time of year weather-wise.
Yeah.
It's not too hot.
Yeah.
So it's perfect to walk around, eat some food, enjoy some atmosphere. I could completely see them doing it at Epic into the future as well.
That's definitely possible. Yeah.
Along with a parade. Epic needs a parade.
Something. They need something.
They will. Everything that I've heard from people that are in and around Epic operations is they are just all hands on deck on park operations.
Gotcha.
I think they're just trying to get everything as efficient as they can in the early part
I mean, it's been less than 6 months they've been open, so
So
there's that.
And that's why I was actually surprised. I don't know if we talked about the previous episode. They're doing Christmas at Epic.
Oh, yeah. They are doing. Yeah, we mentioned
Yeah,
it.
like Celestial Park and Ministry of Magic, which I was a little surprised by, given the fact that this, as I say, the first year of a new theme park is like a beta mode. So they are adding things in slowly, but I think you'll see a lot more kind of cool things happen at Epic in the future. But
yes.
So, all right, well, on to, at least for me, when I read this, I'll tell you my reaction to this. But a Wicked for Good experience is coming to Universal Studios.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
I know there's Wicked fans. I've heard they're good movies. I don't care about it, but I understand why they have them. I'm just giving my personal input right there.
So Universal tweeted, about a week and a half ago, they said, attention fellow Aussians, starting October 31st at noon, you can enjoy a thrillifying, is that a word?
It is now.
Thrillifying immersive experience featuring new magic from Wicked for Good in theaters November 21st. Check out new authentic and film replica costumes, exclusive merch, and more. So basically, they still have the Wicked experience up in Universal Studios. That has not come down from last year. It's been up for almost a full year now. But they're going to go in and place like stuff from the For Good movie in there as well. So like right now, or as of I guess now, there's still stuff from the first Wicked that's still in there, but they'll put it some more in. And they've got like some merchandise that have come out already. The food and drinks have already come out. It's just this specific experience is not going to be open until the 31st, which happens to be the anniversary of the musical.
Yay.
So that's why they're waiting till that day.
Yeah.
How excited are you, Jared?
Like I said, I understand why they put it in the parks. If I was running the park, I'd probably do the same thing. It's just not a movie franchise that I care anything about.
I understand.
I would, though, love a Transformers experience, if I'm being quite honest.
You would like a Transformers experience?
Yeah.
I am shocked.
I could go through and see the Transformer toys. I could see movie prop set pieces.
Yeah.
A real-life transforming Optimus Prime. I don't ask for much.
I don't ask for much.
I don't ask for a lot. I just want a real-life transforming Optimus Prime that is also sentient, and he knows my name.
Okay. Universal annual pass holders get a preview of the merchandise and more, like the replicas and stuff, on the same day on October 31st from 9:30 to noon. So there's a little bit of a perk for APs.
There you go.
There you go. Nothing much else to say except for I am excited about this movie, and I do enjoy the Wicked experience.
Well, I don't like wicked things.
I know.
I'm a man of goodness. So
Wow.
I'm immediately just say, I don't want your wicked wares.
Okay. Okay, Jared.
You wicked witches.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't it based on wicked witches? That's why it's called Wicked, right?
Yes. It's basically the prequel to Wizard of Oz.
This is like having a Thanos prequel.
Kind of. Well, it wasn't. So it wasn't written by the original author of Wizard of Oz.
Right.
It was written by, I forgot his name now, but like it was in the 90s, I think. And it's supposed to be like what happened between Glenda and Elphaba as like children into like school and so, and how did they get to be where they are?
Right.
So
I'm expecting the Thanos before the snap. Why he did what he did.
Right. So should be good. Should be interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of prequels in general, let alone those that are just, I don't know. It's this thing too with movies where it's like I get backstories, but a lot of times it's like taking the villain and then they're like, no, they're misunderstood. And it's like, well, okay. I guess. I don't know. I'm not really big on that personally. But again, this is not for me. So I can fully admit it's not geared toward me. That's totally fine. But I think this template is something you will see them do in the future on their own type of movies to do some sort of like, I mean, obviously it's been successful.
Yeah.
It's a way to move merchandise. So I think you'll see more stuff like this. And then Mark Woodbury has hinted at wicked stuff in the theme parks in the future.
Could happen.
I do kind of lean toward more of like a show though. That to me make a lot more sense than like an entire wicked land.
Maybe.
Because that's obviously based off of the Broadway show. So if you brought like a Broadway quality show, I could see that being very successful.
Well, you know what? We'll see. We'll see if it happens.
Is that your way of saying I agree, but you don't want to admit that you agree with me?
I don't know if it'll happen or not, but a show would be good. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, the last news story that we have is guests can now prepay for parking at CityWalk and Epic Universe.
Yes, you can buy it through the app. The cost with tax for regular self-parking is around $32. That is because I think it's 30 or 31 on the app, and then with tax it's like 32 something. It's basically a $3 discount from the $35 cost at the toll plaza. If you just were to go up and buy it on like that. But you basically get a QR code that you bought it on the app, and then you just show it to the attendant at the toll plaza, and they let you park.
Okay.
So a little bit of discount on parking.
I'm a little surprised they haven't done this before.
I don't know.
I mean, listen, you do get a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I think all the theme parks should take after Silver Dollar City, because what they do is they have a sponsor, and the parking is free. Mm-hmm. And they're like the sponsors all over the transportation buses and everything like that. So get yourself a big sponsor, and then nobody has to pay to park.
Yeah. They sponsor the vehicles that they use to take people from like the trams and stuff. It's smart.
I mean, I think that would be, now I don't think they're going to do that, but I think that would be kind of a cool thing. But yeah, saves you a little bit of money on parking, which parking your vehicle. Like I will say what you will about Disney and Universal's parking fees. They're not as high as like Legoland and like SeaWorld. SeaWorld's been over $40.
Yeah.
I know Legoland out in California is over $40.
Well, Universal's went up before Disney said. Like Disney just raised theirs to 35.
It always makes you wonder, like what is the ceiling on parking going to be? Like, are you feasibly going to pay $60 just to park at some point in the future? At this rate, I think you will.
Yeah.
Like, it's just getting to the point, like, just to park. Like, I think it's one thing. It's like we were at a festival downtown here to like go take the kids, and they had some trick-or-treating stuff going on. And there's this one little parking lot, and it was like $20 to park. And I was like, no way. And I'm not paying you a dime to park in this field to go here for a couple hours. And I think when you're on vacation, many times it's like, well, okay, we have to pay to park. But I'm just the type of like, if it was $10, I might have paid it. But like once you get over 20, and then like just, typical day parking of like over $30 to $40, at that point, I will go to extreme measures to not pay that.
Right. Yeah.
Like when we went to SeaWorld, I parked a ways. I dropped you guys off. I parked ways away and walked like a block. And I'm like, I'm fine. I will get a little exercise here, and I'm not paying them. They wanted like $40 some odd to park. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I will inconvenience myself and get a little exercise while I'm at it.
Did you park at the hotel and walk over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like, what, a half a mile?
It was.
Away.
It was a nice little walk.
Yep.
Nice little walk. Wasn't a bad day.
Yep. Okay.
That's just me, though.
Right. Like $40.
I mean, $40 if you think about it. If you're going to already spend money in a theme park, I'd much rather spend that on food.
Sure.
Or merchandise or something.
Absolutely. Paying for parking is like paying for shipping.
But at least shipping is actually no. I get it.
No.
But there's things required with shipping. Like somebody has to package it and send it off, and the mail carrier gets it. And all that stuff. I get it. Build it into the price. I totally understand. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
But parking your vehicle is just like, you could have an open field, be like, park it, it's $50. You're like, good night. Like, I don't know. I feel like it should be built into the cost. Like you're still paying for it. It just comes across as like, hey, we're not going to charge you for this.
It's just like one of those like a la carte things. Like, oh, we'll just separate it out, and you have to pay for extra here, and easier for our taxes. Pretty much.
Well, it's also it's also a way to separate revenue streams and show like profitability of this and that, and like I get it from an accounting. Yeah, I get it from an accounting standpoint, but from a customer standpoint, I don't like it.
Grr, it's frustrating.
So get yourself Apple or somebody to sponsor it,
or park somewhere else in Uber.
There is that.
Which
I mean, if you think about it,
more or less expensive that way.
It totally would be.
Yep.
If you're staying at a hotel already, just pay to Uber over there, which is a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
So, all right. Well, that's my rants on parking.
Okay.
I don't know who else is with me about going to extreme lengths to avoid it, but
Oh, you are not the only one.
no, I'm sure.
No way. No way. There is something to say to pay for the convenience, whether it's a price that you're okay with or a price you're not. But yeah, I understood. Whenever we saw that the parking was, I think it was like $38 with tax or something.
You're talking about at SeaWorld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns like, I'm going to go back to the hotel. I'll walk. I'll just drop you guys off. I was like, all right, we'll wait for you.
Listen, it's not that bad. You pop in some AirPods, you walk around, listen to a podcast, take a little stroll. It was like a 20-minute walk. No big deal.
It was like April too. It wasn't like the heat of summer.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I had to fight off a couple of people that were,
fine.
whatever.
It's fine.
I wouldn't have recommended that walk with you guys necessarily, but and then I walked back and got the car and picked you guys up.
Yep.
So I will be inconvenienced myself. I'll let you guys get the drop off experience, and I'll go deal with the other stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I would much rather, like, if I want a beer or something or a burger, I'm just like, well, I already dropped $40 on the parking. I'm not paying any extra money. I think you would actually find people would spend more money. That would be a good experiment, by the way, of that like emotional response of like not being nickel and dime so much. If people actually would feel a little bit more like willing to spend money in your parks a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe they're just thinking people are going to spend the money anyway.
I mean, I know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit more in depth with the psychology behind it.
Okay.
I have no ill illusions that I would go before a board meeting and they would be like, you're right. We should not.
You're right, sir.
We should get rid of this revenue stream. I'm like, because this young gentleman has an idea. I'm like, exactly.
You're goofy.
They're like, and escort him out the building immediately.
You're goofy.
Yeah. Anyways. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the show. Like I said, lots of news here. The next episode, we will have a little discussion on some of the other items that we were going to talk about today, but we didn't want this episode to be like 2 hours long.
Correct.
So we will have another episode next Monday to talk about those things.
Yes.
So be sure to check us out on social media, though. We are at Cap the Magic everywhere, including YouTube, where I do daily videos over there that you can go check out. And over 15,000 subs now. So if you want to go join over there. Plus, we do live streams. Have Orange Grove 55 guys on quite a bit. So we get some West Coast and East Coast information. If you're looking for both coasts for information when it comes to theme park, you can check it out there. And then, of course, we have the video version of this show at CTM Podcast on YouTube. You can go check out. Plus the other shows on the network. We have the Disney World Edition every Thursday. You can check out on this feed, as well as Disney's, including Jamie's Trip Tales.
That's me.
Yeah.
I got Trip Tales coming up. I'll try to have it out the Monday before Thanksgiving. But if you want to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com and click on the Be on Trip Tales button at the top and tell me all about your trip. And if I want to have you on the show, I will contact you. Still looking for my last December Trip Tales guest and into the new year. So if that's you, hit me up.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And if you like what we do around here, if you're listening this far into the show, and you like to contribute, help keep the lights on, pay the internet bill, all those things that we do around here, including getting extra content and discounts, you can look at joining Club 32, and that's our private group, kind of like our own Patreon. We just host it on our own end. And in there, you get access to a private podcast feed that also includes commercial-free versions of the episodes. So we do have some ads around the show, so you can get commercial-free episodes, kind of like the high level of Netflix. You don't get the ad stops in there. We also have the Clubhouse show. We have the music loops that are on the podcast feed there. We also have a private Facebook group, which is a great place to ask questions or just meet other people. We get to interact a bit more in there, as well as live streams with weekly live streams that we do every Thursday also. Mm-hmm. So we can, if you got questions about a trip or you just want to randomly chat with us about whatever, we can do that in there. It's always a fun time. And then you also get 25% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products year round. So it's a great group. We have meetups also, and you get some extra content there, and it's a good time there. So if you want to go join there, you go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options. And if you do the yearly, you get a little bit of a discount, and you get a free t-shirt on top of that. So it gives you a little bit extra there. So again, if you want to join, ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.